just come to laugh at everybody else. So I've been seriously thinking of an ex story. And at the table they said you didn't have to tell a story about an ex-boyfriend. It could be an ex-roommate. So I thought, oh, I have the perfect story about Queen Her Founders II and the dildo she left behind when she moved out. Because of everyone else's stories, it has to be about an ex-romantic encounter. Well, I already told you the punchline about Queen Her Founders II. That's really the highlight. That and my friend Zach running around screaming at the top of his lungs when he found it. But the story I'm going to tell is about one of my most memorable forays into online dating, which happened in college when I was a sophomore. In that time, I think online dating wasn't as legitimate. Like now it's less of a stigma, I like to think, because I still do it. I do have a significant number of friends who are now happily married because of online dating. And so, but at the time, I guess I was one of their pioneers. And so, I got a message on Match.com from this guy, and I don't know his name. I'm horrible with names. There was a girl at the front table who was like, hey, Candace, remember me from last summer in Clark Park? And I was like, yeah, no. So I don't remember his name. I think it was something like Steve or something. And I wasn't that impressed by his message or by his picture. Like, I don't want to think that I'm shallow or vain or anything, but he sort of looked like one of those white guys you might see on the news whose pictures is up for like the police finding about 2 or 3 gigabytes of child pornography. So I was thinking, no, let's not do this. But my friend, my best friend, Aisha at the time, who I thought had my best interests at heart, which was mistake number 1, was like, oh, he looks cute and nice. You should go out with him. I don't know, he looks like a pervert. She's like, oh no! Me and Calvin can go with you on a double date and it'll be fun! I'm like, okay, alright. So we decided to meet up for dinner, mistake number 2, at our favorite Mexican restaurant. Not because of its good food. Like, their refried beans always tasted fermented, which I don't think is like traditional Mexican preparation. But it was close to campus, and they had decent nachos without the beans. So we thought we'd meet up there, me, Aisha, and our friend Calvin. And so we arrived there, and we were about 15 minutes late, which I'm like, you know, I don't like to be late, but you know, it is what it is. And we get there, and the guy at the front is like, so you must be Candace. Your date Steve is here. He's been at the bar. And I look at my friends and I'm like, oh, this is the start of something wonderful. And so Steve comes out from the back with a beer in hand, and he looks even more pervy now because he's sort of juiced up by all the alcohol he's been downing and the 15 minutes he's been waiting for us to arrive. And so I'm like, oh, you know, nice to meet you. Oh, sorry I'm late. And we go and sit down. And so yeah, we're at this little table in the back, and I'm thinking, you know, okay, maybe this won't be so bad. I'm here with my friends, and they'll rescue me. Mistake number 3, thinking that they would rescue me. Because they really just had a grand old time laughing at me quite boldly at the table. And so the night starts out with Steve just like, he had this really bad habit of spelling out words. And so he was like, you know what? I believe in L-O-V-E, P-E-A-C-E, don't you? And I'm like, and then my friend Aisha's like, yeah, I really get what you mean. You know, it's all about like P-E-A-C-E, you know, like who needs W-A-R-S? And he's like, yeah, that's what I mean. And the whole time Calvin's about to fall out his chair as this goes on and on. And I'm just thinking, okay, I already ordered the entree. Like, I'm stuck here for at least 10 minutes. At least. And so the night goes on, and like, he goes on and on about how he's been trying to like become, get a master's in African American literature, but he keeps getting rejected by all these universities, and all these professors keep poo-pooing his papers, and he just goes on and on about how he's such a loser, his words. And I'm like, this is a great date. And so while I'm listening to him going on and on about his failures, I notice that he's getting closer and closer and closer not to brag, but I think that's a flaw that I'm a very nice person. And so he keeps getting closer and closer to me until I'm pressed against the wall of the restaurant, and his arm is around me. And he's like, you know, I believe in just jumping in bed with a person on the first date. I'm just like, oh, hell to the no. This time, both of my friends are just rolling. They're having so much fun, the time of their lives. And I'm just going to get the hell out of there because, no. And so, the meal goes on and on. My friends are laughing. They're evading all of my attempts to end this quickly. And I look over and I see him slathering on his chapstick. And I just look at him and like, for later. Think that's gonna be a later. Oh my God. So finally we wrap it up and we make our way towards the door. And I forgot this point in the story. It was a rainy night, so we had umbrellas. And we're getting to the door and I feel something pressing into my buttocks. And I'm thinking, what is that? It must be an umbrella. And so I look to the side and his umbrella is clearly not pressed into my buttocks. So I'm like, great, that's a lovely end to the date. I've just gotten sexually harassed by this loser named Steve. And so, of course, I end the date with a handshake. And later on, he emails me talking about how I'm the sun and the moon and the stars and so sweet and how he'd like to see me again. And I thought about, should I bring up the fact that he's like a horrible pervert? Or should I just be nice? And so I went for nice. And I was like, no, thank you. I think we have other interests. That's my story.